Chief Meteorologist Nick Lilia here, taking a look at the tropical update for October 8th of 2020, brought to you by the folks over there at Pine Belt Gutters and Remodeling. And here's a peek into the tropics right now. We've got, of course, Hurricane Delta, now back to major hurricane status in the Gulf of Mexico. We got an upper-level low hanging out in parts of the Caribbean. And just because it's 2020, a new area to watch in the tropics with a 20% chance of development coming off of the coast of Africa. This, over the next 5 days, does have an opportunity to develop. A lot of the models actually take this thing a little north of where that little outlined area is from where the X is, but nevertheless, it is something to keep tabs on. But I know all eyes are actually on Hurricane Delta, a little bit closer to home. Again, now back to a Category 3 storm, wind at 115 miles an hour, gusting to 140. Pressure at 959, moving to the northwest at 12. The idea is that it'll make landfall somewhere near actually where Laura made landfall. The thought is right now, if you go kind of glide down the center of the cone there, it's going to be something like 10 to 20 miles within where the cone for, or when the landfall was for Laura. For us here in South Mississippi, we're basically talking about no real change to the forecast. Still talking about heavy rain at times, gusty wind at times, the potential for a tornado or two. It is moving right around all the coolest water, so it has found its way along the path of least resistance, so to speak, in terms of getting itself back to major hurricane status. They're now thinking it's going to be a strong Category 2 at landfall as well. That leaves the area with a 20 to 30, maybe even 40 to 50% chance for dealing with sustained tropical storm force wind as you move from east to west across the area, South Mississippi at least. And of course, you get down into Louisiana, you're almost guaranteed to dealing with tropical storm force or even hurricane force winds. The drop-off is going to be pretty quick. Once it gets ashore, this thing's going to fall apart pretty quickly. That's the good news. There's going to be a little bit of shear, a little bit of dry air. So you got two factors working against this thing continuing as a Category whatever storm as it moves inland. So there is at least some good news. The spaghettis are all on board with where this thing is going to be making landfall across parts of Louisiana. Real quick, I did want to highlight that this wave is out here, hanging out. Oh, that's a terrible circle. Right out in here as we head through the weekend and into next week. But it doesn't really do anything with that first one. And then there's another one back in behind that one. There's another. There it is. Another one back in behind that one, worth watching as we head through the middle of next week. And then that may be the one that the National Hurricane Center is actually keeping tabs on. So the latest with Delta, we're still talking about heavy rain at times, wind gusts at 30 miles an hour for everybody at the very least. That's your bare minimum with this. A lot of folks are going to see up to about an inch of rain, wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour. Some folks, especially as you move to the west, are going to be dealing with rounds of heavy rain, up to 2 inches of rain, wind gusts to 50, and then a few spots. For the heavy rain, up to 4 inches and wind gusts to 60 miles an hour. That's mainly going to be across some of our western counties. But the possibility for a tropical tornado, that's for pretty much everybody across parts of South Mississippi as the rain bands move through as we head through Friday night and into Saturday. So there's a quick look at your tropical update for October 8th of 2020, brought to you by the folks over there at Pine Belt Gutters and Remodeling.